Hello and welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 373. One of you mentioned last week I sounded a little under the weather. I feel fine, but I've got some kind of like a sinus allergy thing going on. So yeah, that's what it is. So if you see some clips and splices, it's whenever I cough and stuff. I just try to edit that out. So let's get started. It's been a crazy week. I'll explain that in a little life update, but I don't know what I've done. I'm looking at everything down in front of me that you can't see. I've got a ton of new projects started. That's all I can say. Lots of new stuff to share with you today. So I do have 3 finished objects. I made Mama Pig, Daddy Pig, and Baby Pig. The 3 pigs. Yes, 3 little pigs. There we go. His little nose doesn't look as good as it could. But there they are, and their little tails. So, yes, they're 3 different sizes. So we have a little pig family. That's my finished objects. Now I'll get started with some of the projects I have been working on that you had already seen me working on, and then I'll start all the new stuff I've gotten into this week. The first is my knitted sweater. I'm still going around and around and around doing the raglan decreases of the sleeves, and you can see them right along here. And right along in here. So, yes, so there it is. So I've been working on this sweater. This is Nightshade by Debbie Mage, and it is an Expression Fiber Arts pattern. And then I'm hoping to get this done soon so I can dye this. Sue Lothar and I are getting together to dye this whenever I finish. I've still got this much left. I honestly have been working on it. I've been taking it with me all week long because it's something kind of mindless. But this is, I'm knitting a sock blank that will then get dyed and then ripped out again, and I should have, because I'm holding 2 skeins together at once, I should end up, when I rip this apart, after it's dyed, of having 2 identical skeins of yarn. So I did do a little experimenting this week. You can see this is stockinette here, so it is smooth. And this is when you just do knit stitch. This is created by doing knit and purl. So you knit across and then you purl across the back. And then I got to thinking, I wonder what happens when I dye things if I do it in garter stitch. Garter stitch is just strictly the knit stitch on the front and the back. So I thought maybe because the texture is different than it is down here, it might dye up and look a little different. So I thought, let's play with this. Let's see what happens. So I've done a bunch of garter stitch this week in this as well, just to kind of play around a little bit to see if it affects the dyeing process. So those are the 2 existing projects that I had. Then I got started on a new project, and this is an Afghan I'm making for a friend. I used to go to church with her years ago. This pattern is still available on Leisure Arts. It is called Our Best Knit Collection, and I am making this blanket right here. The funny thing is, I made baby blankets for all of my grandchildren using the same pattern, and that pattern is in this book as well. Let me see if I can find it. Yes. This is the baby blanket right here that I made for all of my grandchildren. So all 11 grandchildren have this same pattern. Well, and take it back. I think one of the babies had an ocean theme, and so I actually did like a chevron, or not chevron, it was fans and feathers because it kind of looked like waves. So I think that's the only one that's different. There might be another, there maybe was one I crocheted, but I think the majority of them were all done with this pattern. So anyway, I am making this particular Afghan here, and I am using, this is an acquisition, I bought this at Joann's. I've never used it before, but I like it so far. It reminds me of Red Heart Super Saver or Karen Simply Soft. It's like one of them. It's 100% not, or 100% acrylic. It's big twist, value pack. It's from Joann's. It is a 4-weight, and there is 380 yards or 347 meters per skein, and it's a 6-ounce skein. And I think I paid, oh, I don't remember what I paid. I'll stick it up here, what I paid for it. It wasn't much. I mean, it was one of the cheaper skeins that they had, and I knew I wanted acrylic, so it was washable. So I'm using this to make that sweater that I just showed you. And I haven't gotten very far because the first 21 rows, I believe, are just done in garter stitch, so it doesn't curl. So this is all the further I have gotten. There you can see it. And I'm using like a size 10. I debated, I bought 6 skeins of this because it does get fringe on the top and the bottom. And I couldn't remember how many skeins I used initially. So whatever I don't use, I might return. So I'm saving the receipt for that. I almost started doing it knitting 2 strands together at a time, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because even though this is a size US 10, it seems to be knitting up pretty well. I mean, it's a decent texture here. So that's the next project. My projects are all tangled up right now. Then I started, this one's all Tina's fault. She sent me this picture that she was making, and so of course I decided I needed to try it. It is a YouTube tutorial. It is supposed to be, now mine doesn't look quite right because I'm not finished yet. It's supposed to look like the petals of a flower, and then you open it up, you pull the petals down, and you have a little doll in the center, and the petals become her dress. Now I still need to finish the edging around each of the petals, and you actually crochet like a single crochet around it, and you're going to crochet a little piece of wire into it. So I need to do that, and then she gets some curly hair attached, and there's like a little top hat type of thing. So I need to do all that. Now the initial pattern had a like a stick coming out of the bottom that you make look like a stem, and then it had a knitted or crochet, I think it was crocheted, green leaf onto it. So it really looks like a flower. But since I'm doing this for a craft fair, for little girls, so I'm thinking they're going to want more like just the doll. I don't know that they're going to want the stem on it. So the stem is questionable whether I will add that or not. It might just be the flower. So that's all the further I've gotten with that so far. And like I said, it is a tutorial on YouTube to do, but it's not in English. I'm not sure what language she's speaking. I'm thinking it might be Chinese. They do have writing in the captions. It kind of tells you what it is, and I've been watching what she's doing and trying to read the captions, and so that's what I'm doing. And yeah, we'll see if it works. So there's that going on. And then I have, of course, one more project, because why not? So I used, because I stopped making my Afghans in the two-tone colors, I'm using 2 skeins of this, and I'm making the basket that's going to go with the Afghans. So this is all the further I've gotten, and I am putting this together. You can see I've got a mess here with all my yarn stuck together, but I'm knitting or crocheting it around a clothesline. So yeah, this is what I have right now. It basically looks like a trivet for a hot pad. The trouble with trivets, if you watched Star Trek as a kid, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, this is the base of the basket. And I'm holding 2, like I said, 2 skeins together, and then I'll also be making another basket holding 2 skeins of the darker brown together. So this is going to go with the Afghans that I've been working on. So that's what I've been working on this week. Yeah, a little crazy, but that's what I've been working on this week. What have you been working on? saw we had a good bit of things in the show and tell, and we had some very pretty projects in there. And one of them that I thought was really interesting, if you saw the sweater that was kind of the gold and the blue, that actually was someone who purchased some of the yarn that I was selling a while back, and she made it into a sweater. So that is some of the yarn that she got from me. So that was kind of fun to see put together in a whole other project. So now I will do a quick little life update of what's been going on when I said I had a crazy week this week. Many of you know that my father has Alzheimer's, and we've been trying to get him placed into a care home because it's just become too much for my mom to take care of him. So we thought we had it all arranged. We had him there, and it was not going well. He was having a really hard time adapting. He's doing better there now, but Monday night was rough, and I ended up spending the night partly at the nursing home, partly at my parents' house, getting my dad to go to sleep. And in the process of all this, the social worker at the nursing home has said, we think he needs more memory care than he's getting at the nursing home. So then we had to scramble, and thankfully we've had a lot of really nice people working with us between coordinating to try to find someplace else to put him that will work out better. And we found someplace today, so that's good. I'm filming this on Friday, so Mom and I were running around all morning long visiting this other place and checking in on it, and we think it's all going to work out. So now we have to scramble to get him relocated and reorganized next week. So like I said, it's been a little bit of a crazy week with all of that going on, but we'll get there. We will get there. So I have one other acquisition someplace. Ah, I found it. And this is what Wednesday's video is going to be about. Yeah, it is called, this has nothing to do with yarn whatsoever, but it should be an interesting experiment. I bought this off of Temu. It is a lead detection test. It says lead test swabs, instant lead test. So there it is. You may be wondering why. Okay, I have been collecting some china, and I've shown it before. I have some Corelware, which I showed, and one of you that are viewers said to me, did you know that some of Corelware has lead in it? Some of the older patterns. Mine happens to be one of the older patterns. However, they made that pattern up until like just a few years ago, and I've collected some of mine from an outlet store just like 3 years ago, so it's probably perfectly safe. But most china, from everything I had read, if you bought china that was dated before 1971, there is a chance that it could have lead in it. After 1971, it was supposedly safe. But apparently Corelware still had some in it up until 2005. And then I'm finding that some of the other china that I've bought, which I have the Blue Danube pattern, and it's a couple of different blue onion type of patterns that kind of all go together. It's like 3 different good china patterns. I've bought these off of eBay and things. I have no idea how old they are. They don't have any crazing on them or anything like that. But to be on the safe side after hearing all this, I wanted to test it out. So that's going to be Wednesday's video. Is we're going to test out my china and see if I'm going to turn it into the Mad Hatter if I use it. Because in case you didn't know the story, the Mad Hatter with Alice in Wonderland, he was making hats, and they used to use oh, it was just on the tip of arsenic. Yes, they used to use arsenic when they made the hats, and that's why they became kind of crazy, was because of dealing with all the arsenic. Yeah, we don't want to turn into the Mad Hatter by using plates with lead on it, so that's going to be Wednesday's lesson. We're going to play around with this and see if what we're using to eat off is safe or not. So yeah, stay tuned for Wednesday. We'll know whether I get to keep my dishes or if I'm going to be getting rid of them. I'm hoping to keep them after all the stuff I put into getting them. Yeah, so excitement. So now it is time for... So in our Come and Get It section today, we have Mary Maxim, which is offering 25% off of one item. So if you place an order for more than one item, or just for one item, whatever, you can get 25% off of one of the items you order. You also, included in that is you get a flat rate $4.99 shipping charge if you order $35 or more. You do need to use a coupon code, which is 1 item 25 off. So again, that is 25% off of one of the items in your order. And if you order $35 or more, you can get flat rate shipping of $4.99 in the continental US. So that is Mary Maxim. Then we have Lovecrafts. Lovecrafts has some of their yarn packs and their grab bags on sale. You can get up to 45% off of those. So that's your yarn value packs and things like that, like bundles of yarn. So that is Lovecrafts. And the links to all of these sales are down below in the description box. Just click the little bold word more. It will drop down alphabetically, listing all the different yarn companies. So Lion Brand is offering 30% off of their yarn and kits. And Jimmy Bean's Wools is now carrying Brooklyn Tweed. Now, Brooklyn Tweed is a luxury yarn, and they have specific requirements. They only allow like one yarn shop in a region to carry it. And so they actually are actually selling through Jimmy Bean's Wools now. So if you're looking for Brooklyn Tweed, and I do have some on the shelf over here, yeah, you can get it through Jimmy Bean's Wools. And Jimmy Bean's Wools also has Malabrigo worsted weight 5 skeins for $46, which comes out to $9.20 per skein, which is a pretty good deal. Malabrigo is also a luxury yarn, and I happen to have, this is Malabrigo. This is fleece to be spun, so you can see it here. It's purples and blues. Yeah, really pretty. A little bit of black in there too. So yeah, it's very soft. Now this particular roving is called Wales Road, and it is 100% merino wool. It is really soft. I don't know what the fiber content is for the Malabrigo that they are selling through Jimmy Bean's, but it comes out to $9.20 per skein, which is pretty good price for Malabrigo yarn. So those are the yarn sales that I know of at this time. Make sure you stay tuned on Wednesday to find out whether Katrina has lead in her dishes or not. Yes, inquiring minds want to know. So that is it for this week, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and if you give me a thumbs up for this video, I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.